Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care. Clara stood at the edge of her spaceship, gazing out at the swirling blue and green planet below. Each pulse of her heart echoed the excitement coursing through her. On her home planet, Lumeria, emotions were as muted as the pale glow of their dim sun, and she had always felt like an outlier among her fellow Lumerians. While they favored logic and reason, Clara craved connection, laughter, and the unexplainable warmth of human emotions. The database in her ship buzzed with snippets of Earth culture, dance, food, music, love, an entire spectrum of feelings she'd only experienced as distant echoes. Earthlings, she whispered to herself, the word trembling gently on her lips like a sweet treat. They must know what it means to feel. She took a deep breath, her bright purple skin shimmering under the ship's lights, and set the ship for descent. As the ship glided gracefully toward the surface, Clara couldn't help but marvel at the planet's beauty. She envisioned herself mingling with humans, tasting their food, and perhaps even falling in love. The notion sent a thrill cascading down her spine. What will I find? She mused, excitement bubbling within her as the curiosity grew. The ship landed with a gentle thud in a secluded park, hidden from passers-by. Clara stepped out, adjusting her oversized glasses that magnified her large, curious eyes. As she surveyed her surroundings, a small doubt crept in. What if they think I'm, weird? But that thought quickly evaporated. Humans were social creatures, and it was time to experience everything they had to offer. Just then, a fleeting thought crossed her mind. What if I discover that Earthlings are softer than I imagined? What if they are full of love and wonder? Clara took her first step onto Earth, and the sensations overwhelmed her. The vibrant colors, the cacophony of sounds, and the enticing aromas swirling in the air intoxicated her senses. She adjusted her glasses again, soaking in the vibrant park bustling with groups of chatting humans and the joyful barking of dogs. Look at them, she gushed to herself. So expressive. But as she moved through the park, curiosity turned into confusion. A vendor shouted about his hot dogs, and Clara wondered if they were native species or some sort of earthling delicacy. Are they supposed to be eaten? She hesitated, eyeing the buns suspiciously. They don't even have wings. Just then, she stumbled upon a bustling crowd near a fountain. Children squealed with laughter as they splashed in the water, their joy infectious. Clara smiled, her heart swelling at the sight. This was what she had wanted. Unfiltered joy. Feeling a tug of excitement, she approached a group of teenagers enjoying ice cream. Clara's eyes widened as she watched them share cones topped with rainbow sprinkles. "Excuse me," she said, her voice ringing out with eagerness. "What are those colorful morsels?" "Sprinkles. They make ice cream awesome," one of the teens exclaimed, winking at her playfully. "Awesome. I must try this ice cream." She pointed to the ice cream cart, but as she turned to approach it, she bumped squarely into something solid, a man. "Whoa there," he exclaimed, steadying her. Clara looked up and was taken aback by the sight of Jake, a charming and slightly disheveled earthling, his bright smile instantly disarming. "No problem. I'm more surprised my ice cream survived that collision," he laughed, motioning to the melting cone in his hand. The sound was infectious, and Clara couldn't help but smile back, feeling an odd flutter in her stomach. "I've never tasted ice cream before," she blurted out. "Can you recommend a flavor? I want to experience it all." Jake's eyebrows shot up. "You've never had ice cream? Where are you from, some kind of alien planet?" Clara nodded earnestly, her enthusiasm growing. "Yes, I'm Clara from Lumeria. We don't have ice cream, but I've heard Earthlings are skilled in the art of desserts." Jake's grin widened. "You could say that, but you've come to the right place. Follow me." As they approached the cart and placed their orders, Jake did his best to explain the different flavors, while Clara peppered him with questions, utterly fascinated by every detail. "What is chocolate?" she asked, her eyes wide with intrigue. "Chocolate is like a rich form of happiness," he replied, grinning back. "You'll love it." Soon they found a spot to sit and dig into their scoops. As Clara savored her first lick, her expression turned to pure bliss. "Oh, this is delightful. How can something be so cold yet fill my heart with warmth? Sounds like you've discovered a human paradox, Jake teased, light glinting in his eyes. I knew Earth would be full of mysteries, Clara said, her tone cheeky as she flicked a bit of melted ice cream onto Jake's nose, laughing at his surprised reaction. Oh, game on, he declared, playfully returning fire with a scoop of his own. What began as innocent fun transformed into a full-fledged ice cream war, filled with laughter and splatters. Each moment together chipped away at Clara's apprehension, replacing it with a growing curiosity about this charming Earthling and all the emotions he brought with him. Sorry, Clara stammered, her voice a mixture of genuine surprise and curiosity. Up close, Jake's earthy scent was confusingly pleasant. He was a sight to behold, with tousled hair and warm brown eyes that twinkled with mischief. No problem. I'm more surprised my ice cream survived that collision, he laughed, motioning to the melting cone in his hand. The sound was infectious, and Clara couldn't help but smile back, feeling an odd flutter in her stomach. I've never tasted ice cream before, she blurted out. Can you recommend a flavor? I want to experience it all. Jake's eyebrows shot up, a response that piqued Clara's curiosity about what flavors or sensations awaited her. You've never had ice cream? Where are you from, some kind of alien planet? Clara nodded earnestly, her enthusiasm growing. Yes, I'm Clara from Lumeria. We don't have ice cream, but I've heard Earthlings are skilled in the art of desserts. Jake's grin widened. You could say that, but you've come to the right place. Follow me. As they approached the cart and placed their orders, Jake did his best to explain the different flavors, while Clara peppered him with questions, utterly fascinated by every detail. What is chocolate? She asked, eyes wide with intrigue. Chocolate is like a rich form of happiness, he replied, grinning. You'll love it. Soon they found a spot to sit and dig into their scoops. As Clara savored her first lick, her expression turned to pure bliss. Oh, this is delightful. How can something be so cold yet warm in my heart? Sounds like you've discovered a human paradox, Jake teased, light glinting in his eyes. I knew Earth would be full of mysteries, Clara said, her tone cheeky as she flicked a bit of melted ice cream onto Jake's nose, laughing at his surprised reaction. Oh, game on, he declared, playfully returning fire with a scoop of his own. What began as innocent fun transformed into a full-blown ice cream war, filled with laughter and splatters. Each moment together chipped away at Clara's apprehension, replacing it with a growing curiosity about this charming Earthling and all the emotions he brought with him. Their playful rivalry continued as they licked their cones, and Clara couldn't resist asking, what else do Earthlings do for fun? Jake's eyes twinkled with mischief. Well, how about karaoke? It's one of the best ways to unleash your inner rock star. Is that where you sing too? Clara inquired, her enthusiasm fueled by his excitement. Exactly, he said with a grin, and I promise it'll be just as hilarious as ice cream fights. Emboldened by their connection, Clara's heart flared with warmth. Then lead the way. I want to experience everything. With laughter bubbling among their shared ice cream remnants, Jake took Clara's hand, excitement radiating. You're going to have a blast. Their ice cream escapades left both Clara and Jake a little sticky, but surely not less happy. Okay, Clara, what's next on your earthly playlist? Jake asked as they wiped their faces with napkins, brightening in anticipation. Clara pondered, looking around at the thrumming life around them. I want to understand what it means to be alive, to feel. What do humans do for fun? Let's hit karaoke. It's where emotions and music collide, Jake said, his enthusiasm contagious, promising adventure. They arrived at a vibrant karaoke bar, the air buzzing with laughter and the clinking of glasses. Clara marveled at the flashing lights and the way people sang with sheer joy. It's like a harmonic celebration here, she exclaimed. Jake nudged her playfully. And you're going to take the stage, right? What? Me? Clara's mouth fell open, and her alien eyes widened. But I'm not ready. Trust me, it will be a blast, and I'll cheer you on. With a sparkle of encouragement in his eyes, Clara decided to face her fears. As she climbed onto the stage, she felt her heart pace like never before. The audience's faces showed a mix of anticipation and amusement. Grabbing the microphone, she suddenly felt thrust into the spotlight. She started with a classic human ballad about longing. The words flowed through her effortlessly, though she found herself navigating the emotional nuances of the song. As she sang, Clara infused her alien perspective into the song, every note magnifying her innocence and curiosity. But just as the song reached its peak, she faltered at an intensely emotional line, and embarrassment washed over her. Suddenly, the laughter around her erupted into loud, supportive cheers, warming her heart. After concluding, Clara breathed deeply. "How did it feel?" Jake asked, eyes dancing with excitement. "I've transformed into an unfiltered supernova," Clara gasped, her cheeks flushed from the thrill of the performance. "I felt so alive." When they returned to their table, the crowd cheered, urging them on to perform again. Jake chimed in, "Let's do a duet, just you and me." The memory of their nearness became palpable in the dim light. They sang a cheery duet that resonated with the crowd's laughter and ooze as their voices blended. Between songs, they shared flirty glances, and Clara felt a thrilling connection feared she had only read about in her studies. By the end of the night, Clara felt utterly exhilarated. "This must be happiness," she proclaimed, awestruck by how simple interactions could lead to such powerful emotions. "Welcome to the human experience," Jake said with a chuckle, brushing his hand thoughtfully against hers, making her heart skip a beat. The next day, Clara awoke with a head full of songs and a heart bursting with newfound joy. The warmth of her time with Jake sang in the corners of her mind, intermingling with the vibrant colors of her dreams. As she dressed, her reflection showed a girl changed, a creature awash in human experiences, just like the ones she had craved. Feeling adventurous, Clara decided to explore more of this extraordinary planet. But she was acutely aware of her need to stay connected to Jake's side. He was the bridge to human culture that she desperately wanted to understand. So she sent him a message. "Let's explore again." As they met, Jake suggested a day at the beach. "It's a quintessential Earth experience," he said with excitement. Clara agreed, the idea of sun, sand, and waves igniting a thrill within her. When they arrived, Clara was taken aback by the sheer beauty of the water. The sun sparkled like diamonds on the waves. But as they began building a sandcastle, Clara couldn't shake her feelings of vulnerability. Around her, humans laughed and played with delightful abandon. "Why are they all smiling?" Clara mused, pulling a handful of sand and letting it trickle through her fingers. "Is it the salt water?" "It's just fun, an internal joy," Jake replied brightly, oblivious to her emotional struggles. "Fun?" Clara repeated, puzzled. The concept eluded her, like a light just beyond her reach. Was it something she could possess? As they splashed in the shallows, the laughter of children and the warmth of the sun created an intoxicating ambiance. Jake grabbed her hand, pulling her into the waves, and she felt an exhilarating rush. "See, this is living," he laughed, splashing her playfully. But as Clara felt the cool water envelop her, a wave of anxiety crashed over her, pushing her emotions to the surface. "What if I fail to connect?" she thought, panic springing forward at her vulnerability. Returning to the sandy shore, she quickly withdrew, suddenly conscious of her hesitations and worries. Clara looked away, fearful of ruining the moment. "Hey, what's wrong?" Jake asked, his tone shifting to concern, making her heart swell with appreciation. Clara hesitated, searching for words, finally admitting, "I am not entirely sure how to have fun without feeling exposed. I've always lived in a well-guarded bubble." Jake's expression softened with empathy. "Clara, being vulnerable is part of the deal. It makes us human. Just take a leap. Embrace it." The way he looked at her, calm, reassuring, filled her with courage. Clara nodded, allowing herself a fragile smile. "All right, I'll give it a shot." They continued playing, and slowly that anxiety morphed into an exhilarating dance of unguarded moments. Clara surrendered to the joy of laughter, each splash and playful poke nudging her further into the experience, opening her heart to the realization that maybe fun could be woven into vulnerability. By the end of the day, Clara was shivering from the coolness of the water, but radiant with the warmth of connection. They collapsed onto the sand, panting and laughing, feeling a raw bond radiate between them, forging a deeper connection in the fading golden light. The next day, Clara felt a curious, bubbling anticipation. She had shared so much with Jake, each new experience forming a bond that felt immeasurable. But was she truly ready for what that meant? Trying to suppress her growing emotions, Clara suggested they try something exciting, touring the downtown shops. The city around them thrummed with life, and she wanted to absorb it all. They wandered hand in hand, the streets bursting with colors, laughter, and vibrations Clara had never encountered before. "Let's go to that cool tech store," Clara suggested, pointing at a bright establishment overflowing with gadgets that seemed to possess a mind of their own. As they stepped inside, she gawked at the dizzying array of human innovation. "Check this out," Jake exclaimed, lifting up a peculiar device. "This is a VR headset. It mixes reality and fiction. Want to try?" "Holographic simulation?" Clara's eyes widened with interest. "Yes, please." He carefully placed the headset on her, and bright visuals filled her mind, presenting vivid landscapes, whimsical creatures, and spine-tingling emotions. Each moment sparked her curiosity. However, while she twirled in a serene dance within the realm of her imagination, reality outside quickly shifted. When the simulation ended, Clara lifted the headset, but chaos erupted. A human accidentally knocked her shoulder aside while rushing by, triggering a loud security alarm. "Uh-oh," Jake exclaimed, eyes widening as a flurry of activity ensued. Clara stood frozen, overwhelmed. Chaos erupted around her as workers scrambled for control. The noise, the people." Clara felt panic seeping into her being. "What do I do? Let's just go, follow me." Jake grasped her hand, but in the chaos they were separated, their connection severed in an instant. "Jake!" she shouted, shooting up to find him, but he was lost in the swirling frenzy. Clara's heart raced as she spun in a daze, anxiety suffocating her. She had come to Earth to learn of emotions and now found herself overwhelmed by fear. As the alarms blared, Clara stumbled outside the store, clutching her chest. She felt unmoored, adrift in a sea of unfamiliar faces. For the first time since her arrival on Earth, she felt utterly alone and vulnerable. In minutes that felt like an eternity, the noise faded, and Clara began to reflect on the tumult of human life. How quickly joy could morph into chaos, leaving someone exposed and lost. Fear washed over her as she thought of losing Jake completely. How could she return to the safety of her ship without him? After wandering the streets alone, Clara found a bench in a nearby park and plopped down, despair filling her heart. The cheerful energy around her contrasted sharply with the storm inside her. Memories of laughter with Jake flashed in her mind, but the weight of separation felt utterly unbearable. Hours stretched on as she sat, hopeless. As her purple skin dulled under the sun, the loneliness wrapped around her like a heavy cloak. While Lumerians shied away from uncertainty and vulnerability, humans thrived in it. Yet here she was, clumsy and unsteady. "What if I can't connect?" she whispered into the breeze. Just as despair festered into anxiety, she noticed a flicker of movement. Jake rushed toward her, breathless and wide-eyed, as he knelt beside her. "Clara, I was so worried. Are you okay?" The worry etched on his face made her heart leap, sparking a fleeting moment of warmth amidst her turmoil. I lost myself in the chaos," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I thought something terrible had happened to you." His brow furrowed, relief flooding his expression, and Clara felt a surge of connection. "Let's get out of here. We can laugh about this together." Clara took a shaky breath, feeling reassured but still fragile. "I never want to be separated like that again," she confessed, blinking back tears. "You've shown me so much joy, and I'm afraid of losing that." Jake placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder and leaned in closer. "You're not alone anymore, Clara. We'll face it together." His sincerity bore into her heart, melting away the remnants of fear. A surge of warmth washed over her. For the first time, she felt rooted in the reality of her emotions. With renewed determination, Clara stood, brushing off the remnants of her sadness. "Let's try something new. This time I'll lead," she declared, surprising herself with the exuberance behind her words. They ventured to a quaint festival nearby. Colorful booths lined the streets, and the air smelled like freshly baked treats. "I want to taste everything," Clara exclaimed, her eyes twinkling with excitement. They wandered through stalls, Clara shyly asking about each delicacy, while Jake provided witty commentary. Clara's laughter echoed as she playfully smeared whipped cream on Jake's nose. Amid laughter and bonding, alien worries transformed into warmth. Activities flowed seamlessly until they stumbled upon a dance circle. Young and old rounded up, moving to the beat of drums. Clara shifted nervously, yet the rhythm pounded beneath her skin. "Come on, Clara, let's dance," Jake beckoned, his voice inviting yet urging. "I'm not a dancer," she protested, but the energy was exhilarating. Surrendering, she stepped into the circle, encouraged by Jake's steady presence beside her. As they began to move, Clara found her footwork faltering, lost in the infectious zeal. But with Jake at her side, radiating confidence and joy, she let the music infuse her spirit. Their movements melded as laughter erupted, rhythm connecting them with the essence of joy around. When the song ended, they cheered alongside the crowd. Clara felt both exhilarated and liberated in the moment. As she looked at Jake, their eyes met, and a spark ignited, a sense of undeniable connection that made her heart race. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in splashes of orange and pink, a soft breeze circled the festival's dancers. Clara felt a wave of elation wash over her, amplified by the closeness shared with Jake. The connection felt tangible. She could almost touch it, yet unease lingered like a subtle shadow. What would it mean once the day ended? "Where do we go from here?" Jake asked as they sat beneath a glowing tree, its branches dancing with lights. Clara felt her heart tug, contemplating the weight of the moment. "We've encountered so much joy and laughter together, but I can't help but want to explore further into this." "Further? You mean around Earth or beyond?" she finished, glancing at him shyly, her pulse quickening. "I have a home to show you. Lumeria may not be Earth, but it's full of wonders too." His expression turned playful yet contemplative as he raised an eyebrow. "Are you saying I should meet the aliens?" He chuckled, leaning back against the tree, and Clara felt warmth radiate between them. "It's a wonderful thought. You could experience my world," Clara said. She leaned slightly closer, her heart racing at the thought of sharing her home. Jake's gaze deepened, serious now. "I need to tell you something. I feel a strong connection to you," he revealed, his voice almost a whisper. Time paused, zeroing in on the truth. Clara processed the weight of his words, glowing warmth enveloping her. "Jake, I've never felt this way. You taught me how to feel, how to explore emotions. This is everything I wanted." They stepped closer, an unseen force drawing them together, both exhilarated by the warmth of the moment. But just then, a couple in bright costumes burst past, setting off sparkles, jolting them from their intimate moment. Clara jumped, startled, laughter erupting on instinct. "See, this can be chaotic. I love it." They resumed their playful banter, yet the undercurrent of shared feelings hung thick in the air, unacknowledged yet undeniable, carrying the potential for a deeper bond. As the festival wound down, they prepared to leave, and Clara felt an overwhelming compulsion to capture this moment. "Jake, wait!" He turned, curiosity dancing in his eyes. "What's up?" "I don't want to lose this feeling. Can we take a picture?" Clara's voice trembled with sincerity as she pulled out her communicator. "Let's create a memento." They posed, wide smiles illuminating their faces, Clara nearly radiant. "Got it!" she cried, looking at the image of laughter, adventure, and connection reflected back at her, anchoring her to this beautiful experience. The days turned to weeks, within which Clara and Jake explored Earth side by side. They packed a montage of memories, from festival food fights to heart-pounding roller coasters. With each whirlwind adventure, Clara's once uncertainty unraveled into a deep-seated connection, one that felt stronger than the gravitational pull her home planet had ever felt. One sunny day, they found themselves lounging in a park, Jake casually tossing a frisbee to eager dogs, while Clara observed humans around her with wonder. "Jake?" she called out softly, discovering a new earnestness behind the question. "Yes?" He caught the frisbee and approached her with curious hopes. "Do you ever worry about losing these moments? This feeling?" Jake paused, his playful demeanor falling away. "Sometimes, but isn't that what makes them worthwhile? The uncertainty, the thrill?" Clara pondered his words. feeling the weight of their connection deepening. But what if, before she could finish, a duo of kids ran wild, bumping into her, and just as swiftly returned her attention back, pushing worries aside. "Let's take a stroll. I want to hear about your favorite places." The afternoon turned into an impromptu walking tour as Jake crafted stories of his childhood, with each corner holding a shared laugh, each experience stitched together with love and joy. Later that week, they prepared for another festival, a huge fair with live music and delightful surprises. As they scouted out rides, Clara felt more at ease, embracing the reality of human enjoyment. Yet she also sensed a shift, a weight of unspoken feelings that heavily underlined their time together. The festival bustled as they picked cotton candy and danced again, carelessly lost in each other. Jake caught her gaze, and there was an understanding between them, vibrating like a tuning fork. "Hey, Clara," he said suddenly, voice low amidst the laughter. "What do you say we have a little chat, just the two of us?" Taken aback, Clara nodded earnestly, her heart racing. They found a quieter corner near the Ferris wheel, the colorful lights casting kaleidoscopic reflections in their eyes. With the fair's sounds dimming, Jake looked at her seriously. "I need to tell you something. I feel a strong connection to you." Clara's breath hitched, enraptured by the intensity of the moment. "I feel it too," she whispered, her heart pounding in sync with the festival's rhythm. "I think," Jake began, his voice soft but punctuated with urgency, "I think I'm falling for you." Time paused again in that enchanted moment, zeroing in on the undeniable truth, their shared vulnerability evident in unspoken words. Clara processed the weight of his statement. "Jake, I've never felt like this before. This connection, it's overwhelming." As they stood close, the understanding of mutual feelings cemented around them, enveloping them in a warmth that felt like an embrace. Gratitude washed over Clara. She realized that for all her fears of vulnerability, Jake had helped her find beauty within it. As excitement bubbled within her, Clara took a deep breath and stepped even closer, heart singing in harmony with the vibrant beating of the festival. With the festival stretching long into the night, Clara and Jake drifted around, sharing experiences and laughter woven with the magic of the lantern-lit skies above them. As the festivities began to dwindle, a wistful air hung between them, threading through the beautiful chaos of the evening. "Where do we go from here?" Jake asked, as they sat beneath a glowing tree, its branches dancing playfully with lights. Clara felt her heart tug deeper, contemplating the weight of her emotions. "We've encountered so much, Jake, but I can't help but want to explore further, beyond Earth." "Further? You mean around Earth or beyond?" she finished, glancing at him shyly. "I have a home to show you. Lumeria may not be Earth, but it's full of wonders, experiences, and depth that will fascinate you." His expression turned playful, yet affectionate, sparking a joy that spilled between them. "Are you saying I should meet the aliens?" He chuckled, leaning back against the tree, and Clara couldn't help but join in his mirth. "It's a wonderful thought. You could experience my world, my culture, and my values," Clara explained. She leaned slightly closer, her heart racing at the thought of sharing her home and her essence. Jake's gaze deepened, serious now. "I need to tell you something. I feel a strong connection to you," he revealed, his voice stirring the air surrounding them. Time paused, narrowing in on the truth. Clara processed the weight of his words, glowing warmth enveloping her. It felt electric, alive with possibilities. "Jake, I've never felt this way. You taught me how to feel, to explore emotions. This is everything I've wanted and dreamed of, with you." They stepped closer, an unseen force drawing them together. As excitement hummed around them, and they both leaned in closer, their proximity charged with unexpressed affinity. But just then, a couple in bright costumes burst past, setting off sparkles that swirled around them, jolting them out of their intimate moment. Clara jumped, startled, laughter erupting on instinct. "See? Chaos brings such joy. I love it." They resumed their playful banter, yet the undercurrent of shared feelings hung thick in the air, unacknowledged yet undeniable, promising a more profound bond. As the festival wound down, they began to leave, and Clara felt an overwhelming compulsion to capture this moment. "Jake, wait." He turned, curiosity dancing in his eyes. "What's up?" "I don't want to lose this feeling. Let's take a picture." Clara's voice trembled with sincerity as she pulled out her communicator. "Let's create a memento." They posed, wide smiles illuminating their faces. Clara almost more radiant than the stars above. "Got it!" she cried, looking at the image of laughter and connection projected back at her. As they walked away from the festival hand in hand, Clara couldn't shake the thrilling realization. Earth wasn't just about experiencing emotions, it was about sharing them. Together, with their laughter bouncing off the stars, they finished their first chapter of this grand tour, one that held infinite, whimsical journeys ahead, intertwined with love and promise, awaiting them both to uncover.